to the January 20th school committee meeting. First order of business is public comment. Do we have any public comment? Okay. We're going to hold for a moment for technical difficulties. Make sure our friends on Zoom can join us.
Okay. I think we're...
It looks like we're on now.
Oh, yeah, no, we're on. I'm trying to share the screen.
Oh, okay.
It's not stuck on.
Gotcha.
This is the hardest thing I do. Let's see.
While we work on screens, I would love to have Nicole McDonald join us to talk about CPAC and a special education update. And we'll just wait for those slides and maybe dance or sing.
It's the slides don't come.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
that. Always know that.
Look at this.
No,
I like it. We all have them.
We do all have them. It's just the people at home won't have them.
Right. But we can. Did that. Bang heaven. There it is. It's really pretty. I like your template. Not just my dress.
Which is why she likes it.
Like that. I
Good
figured.
job.
This is for you. And look like your dress with the background, the green.
Yeah.
know how to get out of it.
It's really all that matters.
Maybe you do a.
Control.
I can get out, get back in. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, maybe that's best.
Fair.
Record. Were people on? Oh, good. Okay. I mean, not good, but at least we didn't hang up on people. Is all I'm saying.
It looks like your screen. There's also no.
It does.
Yeah,
It's like you have to
because I'm not,
restart the computer.
that's totally...
Who's digging?
And I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's not.
I don't know, maybe it's there. I've completely restarted.
Oh.
It's still on there. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, that. See how it's signing me in.
Yep.
That's not.
It's sharing a different screen. You know, Dave.
I'm not.
No.
Never have been for some things.
Yeah. Got something
Something's amiss. Something is.
What's wrong with them? You. It's good.
It's on it.
It is on
Okay.
there. And,
Oh, the request didn't go.
okay.
Touched it, but now they see.
Thank you. Yeah, I think.
That is
Are you comfortable, Nicole? Just kind of talking, starting?
Want me to wait? Or
No, I think we can start
okay. Sure.
if you're comfortable with that.
These pretty slides. Well, are we
Yes.
still getting
Yeah.
recorded? We're good. Like this will be recorded. Like they're.
Yeah, it's being
Okay.
filmed.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Like
No,
that.
nothing's
we're-
happening.
oh,
Okay,
nothing
then
is that-
then we should 100% hold.
She posted it as a hybrid EA that hybrid comment.
Right.
Isn't available.
Got it.
So I was waiting you for good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something's happening. Look at that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, definitely not the charter review committee. Here we go.
It's looking good.
Yeah, good sign.
I'm missing.
Line.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're at, but I'm going to start practice session. So, here, live, then
I was at MASD last weekend. We all had to share a fun fact about ourselves that somebody didn't know, and it got like
What was your fun fact?
my fun fact was that I'm in an improv group on Wednesday nights.
That is fun.
That's a good one. I don't know how fun, but they were actually pretty impressed by it, which was weird. But yeah,
I don't think any of us will in improv group on Wednesday nights. So
I'm actually taking it for me. Christy?
what's a joke, Christy?
That would like,
No, it's okay.
That would use your skill set.
Yeah.
like improv. No, it's fun. I'm not in it this thing.
In a play.
It's me. I'm the luck. No,
Not at all.
what about to a grand thing?
I
people.
I didn't have my cup locked on my way here and poured tea all over my jacket, which is why I don't have a jacket.
That's
It's
okay.
very cold out and I have no jacket. Well, I do have one. It's soaking wet. So
That's fun. You know, it's fun. They used to dye things with tea back in the old days.
it's true.
Yeah.
You still can do that. You can still do that now.
They do? Wait, what?
They still dye eggs with tea.
To me? You do?
They call them maybe. I don't have a microwave either, right?
My mother just got a microwave
I've never
last week.
don't.
You know,
First time ever.
Have a microwave?
Did you as a kid?
Oh, wow. We never had one when I was a kid.
My mom was petrified of them.
No, I don't like them.
As of last week, she's no.
Oh, she's not later. That's
We're
a fun
shocked.
fact about that.
We might as well have had like a rhinoceros. It was shocking.
A lot of people were nervous about them.
Yeah, like the radiation.
Yeah.
My grandmother's scared.
Now we sleep with phones next to our heads.
Yeah, I know.
Good point. So that's a fun fact about Jay. Another fun fact about Jay is that he's been to every state.
Really?
No, we're good on
that's
our
fascinating.
we're live, but whatever this screen is, that's not big.
On the spot. I know.
Wow.
It's I was late. She just like walked in and I walked her very quick. I know.
What would you have come up with if you had more time?
I haven't changed it.
There's not a lot of time back to that. There are people who are listening to it.
Oh,
Wow,
okay.
So at least one graph.
that's
It
awesome.
was on the Zoom and
I
then
got a
lost it.
text too that, yeah,
That it wasn't working.
that's good that
I love that.
it was working and then we make it.
Okay. Yep, that would be us.
Meeting.
Oh, we're all wrapped up.
I mean, it's only 7:08. Like, it feels like it's been a really
I know.
because we're all just staring at it. That's why we're
It
talking about
is
fun
a
facts.
little You can be hard.
sharing fun facts. Right. Yeah.
All
Go in
right.
a circle.
Stella, fun fact? You got nothing?
No fun.
Nothing. It doesn't have to be that fun. Like, somebody said he likes pork. Charlie. He's like, my fun fact is he really, and then we all talked to him about pork. It was like something like we all share.
That's fun.
I don't like pork.
I do like pork
Okay.
because that is not my fun fact. What's my fun? Oh, I've had brunch with Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, what fun fact.
I went to high school with his daughter.
That's so cool.
And he came to visit and he took us to brunch.
Wow. That's
So-
cool.
That is very cool.
Aw. I don't think anyone talks that fun fact.
No.
I don't know. There's definitely more fun facts out there for people.
I met Henry Winkler and he's fabulous.
Henry Winkler seems like the nicest
And he's-
man.
And he's like great with kids. Just super guy. And he writes children's books. We have 2 of them. Autographed too. He
I love the
autographed them.
fonts.
I love her.
No, always did.
Yeah, I'm glad he's a good guy. Lately, anytime I've said somebody's a good person, something's bad.
Immediately.
No, please stop.
It's like I'm cursed.
All right, we're going to try a start webinar.
Okay.
Okay.
But usually when I go into practice, which is June,
Recording in progress.
All right.
I think this is good.
That looks very promising.
All right. Can we share us?
we can try. Let's see what they do. It's
There.
still
I got you.
like that's not live.
I get it.
That's what history to then about do they did. Oh, right. I think so. It's live.
Yeah.
So I can try to share. I don't know why they're not showing.
We're extremely serious people.
Dun, dun, dun,
Here we go.
All right. Thank
All
you,
right.
Evan. I give Evan full credit.
Okay, we're back to Nicole Squared
All right.
and our CPAC and special education updates.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
So I'm here to talk about the Steve Park and our events of the year and stuff. So I'm Nicole Prest. I'm the chairperson. We have an interim secretary this year, but she is from with a sick child. And then Stella is our school committee liaison. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're yours.
Oh, am I switching it?
Yeah, use that one.
Great. So I won't read the mission statement, but basically, the Steve Pack is fueled by love and advocacy for our children with special needs and aspires to positively influence best practice, collaborative partnership, regularly scheduled interactions with special ed department and parents, and supportive resources and mentorship. So this is our schedule for the remainder of the year. On Thursday the 12th, we'll have a regular meeting. Also, I believe that's the one we're going to have Melissa or a preschool rep come and chat about preschool enrollment and initial eligibility process. We'll probably also have one more about ESY and the ESY programming to determine which one. And we just locked down our date for the Everyday Hero Awards. So we're going to be doing it a little early this year. Because I feel like the last few years it's been like a mad dash in May, competing with like concerts and sports and all that fun stuff. We've also been having regular coffee and conversations at the WCC in Grafton. This has got a decent turnout, and it's just a nice way to have another opportunity during the daytime to chat with parents. To see about the coffee and conversation. We have a voluntary mailing list that we started last year. Basically, parents can opt in to receive emails, and it's basically the same information I post on our Facebook page. And I also share the bigger events on the Grafton District page, which usually needs approval, but like I just posted an hour ago the info about the award ceremony and nominations. So last year we talked about super board elections. We talked about the Grafton Rep and the inclusive programming. The high school secondary level topics of position planning.
The sound does not seem to be working for the people on Zoom.
What is it now?
That's the sound. The sound isn't
Is
working.
that, I'm guessing that's the corresponding
This,
whatever's going on now.
it looks to unmute yourself. Should you be unmuted? You should be muted. Okay. No. This is the worst meeting.
No.
Well, no, it's the most technically challenged.
I thought of a fun fact. I have 2,100 days to Olympus Street.
Nice. That's a great fun fact.
I found what is
Sure.
Duolingo streak. That's amazing.
No, we've never
it's fine.
What language?
It's a lot.
All of them? That's amazing.
Just a little bit.
So last year we talked about high school transition planning, the full staff members from the high school came, Melissa, Megan, thank you. We had a basic rights presentation. We talked about evaluation and eligibility from the Federation. We also did the preschool process last year, because preschool comes up every year. We also did just the general upper elementary Q&A, talking about the transition from elementary to middle, and how that goes, and here's why. Of course, we had our everyday hero ceremony last night.
Nicole, I'm going to stop you. I'm getting messages that people on Zoom cannot hear us.
Oh no.
So however they patch in the sound must not be patched.
Could turn on closed caption pretty easily. If anybody that works.
More accessible.
Turn that
I'm sorry, Nicole. I hate to keep interrupting you.
Roll with the punches.
Right? With our kids, we're used to it.
Appreciate the
slides are-
modification.
Your slides are really pretty.
Oh, thanks.
It really is a great template. All right. If you're on Zoom and you can't hear us, we're also not talking. I should say.
No, we should make incessant noise so they know if they can hear us.
Let's see.
Right.
You can't hear them.
That's all that goes on.
We're in trouble.
Oh, this just pronunciation.
I have no idea.
You hear me now?
There's a lot of feedback on this one.
Yeah.
I think once you turn on his mic, we have problems.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think should we continue? I don't know. I mean, there are people on Zoom.
Yeah, I don't know if we're invited.
Yeah.
Oh, no, if we can't,
If people can't hear us.
because, we never hear me now.
Before,
Like 2 months ago, we were talking.
I don't think they can hear you.
Can I get on the Zoom? But they just
I think we can have feedback.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The feedback.
Is on the back end.
so I can't log into the Zoom as like a user.
I think it's the patch.
No,
The volume on the mics is super high.
Yeah.
It's talking to me.
I know usually no one can hear us.
I want to try to push this back.
Jack, I think you may have stuck it.
You did. He's so excited to be here.
White Jack.
It's probably Jack's fault.
Honestly.
So GCTV can hear us on the TV, like if someone's watching that way. But if they're on Zoom, they cannot, is my understanding. And I think might.
Can you put the link to YouTube TV in the Zoom chat?
I don't think it's required by open meeting. We used to not.
well, that's the thing.
I know, but when you make it available, they feel like it has to work.
People may not have access to it. Can you go to
Right. Like I don't have
You
GC,
can watch it live on your website.
but you can't.
It's a
Yeah, which we don't have anyway. Oh, we don't. Because we had public comment. Stuck. This is a very exciting meeting.
It was,
Cool, the colds are here.
When there's clinicals in a room. But I think,
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, we've like crossed the streets or something. You can.
I can hear it. I just don't speak it still that there is feedback.
okay. Well, that alone is it. That's
It definitely sounds.
On the Zoom or
So that
okay. Thanks.
thank you.
Okay. All right. We're going to keep going.
all right.
Uh,
Want to check with some?
Okay. All right. Let's keep
Good.
going.
All right. Where was I? Okay, so this year Graph Team that came back again and discussed their new inclusive programming. They talked about a new inclusion program where they're providing accommodations and supports for students in after school programs, in summer programming. We're going to have high school, later in the year, we'll have high school, secondary later. We had a BSCA presentation on facilitating meetings and mediation, which was great with Marla. We'll have a lesson in the preschool initial eval process. We'll talk about ESY. We'll have our everyday hearing ceremony on April 30th, and then we're switching our board elections to June. That was a decision last year because it was tough being appointed in the fall and not having that time to learn the thing when everyone's boots on the ground, So we thought we appointed people in June, then we would have the summer for me to pass on things or meet with them or whatever to hand things up. Then we have our CPAC website, which has a link to our calendar, links and resources to the Federation and BCA and all that. Has links to our previous agendas and meeting minutes, updates since last year. CPAC is no longer subject to open meeting laws, so we don't do the official turning our agenda to the town and everything ahead of meetings, so we can do it more like casual conversation trainings and informally, which is nice. Makes it less frustrating. So some people are opinion builders last year. We had 61 nominations, which was a 20% increase from the year before. 17 GHS and GMS put together for the presentation. Military Street at 7, North Street at 14, North Bradley 10, South Bradley 13. Sorry, this year awards include our data. Still with this year.
Great.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Nicole.
You know, we're good.
Yeah,
It was great, and we kept interrupting you, so thank you.
Flexible. Same with the game. Oh wait,
I mean,
okay, well, from the polls to see to
before Nicole goes, the sound is not working on Zip.
no, it's down.
It is working on the GCTV.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. We don't take questions, so
Maybe they put in the chat or something.
right. But even though we don't typically do that.
Does somebody have a public
I'll
comment
link
though?
them to the website. Oh, put the website. Yeah,
Let them know.
yeah. Like there's nothing on this.
And you know what? If somebody, you can self-report. I mean, we have to get business done.
Yeah.
We don't always have all this technology. Like,
Yeah.
it's public. It's going to be replayed.
Yep, people can watch the replay. It'll
You
be
certainly let the state know what's happened and then move forward. It's not like we're going to
Yep.
get it,
okay. Great.
I think. Right?
I think keep going. I think everybody wants to keep going. So, Nicole, do your name, Jason, can you put anything in the chat?
Good.
We can do that. Or you can put it in the chat.
Let me know. We need to keep moving forward. Sorry.
We're good. If you could put it in the chat, that would be great. Thank you. Nicole Press, while we're putting things in the chat, are there themes that are coming up, like say in the coffee and conversations that are sort of interesting or that we should know about, or
nothing pressing. No, it's more like I've had a handful of new families. Claiming like just recent things. So yeah, we have 2 recent. Next guy have actually reached out to me when they were still in North Carolina to like ask me about the process. And I connected them with Melissa and all that.
awesome.
It's great that they feel like
I love that.
fine. Me. And then we actually interesting to join our council meeting last Thursday night. From March 8th, right? Yeah. So that's nice. At least it's like I think interesting as far as like how things have been, we're all stressed. One thing is that that's the generality, right? It's the one thing that it's sounds like yeah, found questions.
Everything we can be doing to support you're doing for.
Yeah, I'd like to, this is my 3rd year, so
Thank you.
I guess I should eventually hand over the reins.
You
No. So yeah, I think networking would be nice because I think I tried to get a program going this year called Bridge Coordinators, which other district CPACs are doing. Basically, it's like parents volunteers at each school to be like the in-between communicators between us and the badger because there's been this not disconnect, but like I don't even want on their mailing list. But, like, I don't know what there's events or this or that.
Yeah.
I tried to get together and have like 2 schools and I didn't try this and I'm like nobody here and then I asked that so it was just hard for me to get all together by myself. So yeah, we do like a goal for next year. Like if we don't like to be able to do that in day one school year. So, because if you talk about like students with like district, like that communication looks different than like I would like about like events high school happen in county so they can access the ground and so they can go tell like students so
I will have been trying to reach out and reach out and get people as much involved as possible. We definitely don't get people in meetings sometimes. Chris and John. Nicole. But although we like spending time together, so I will say, for families, if you're not sure you can join, but just your even there's kind of all for it, you don't need to come up with you don't have your channel on like to just here and I think that is something that is valuable enough. So I just want to plug that and you feel like it's you have been joining from but like join, sharing information, for your headphones in, you have to actively participate. That's okay. We just want to give you information about presenting out to as many families as possible. So that would be my one plug. Yeah, the whole thing comes in to just hear it if you can. Yeah, the participate like the big party of this part to get like the how they the things for them. Yeah. Like get to be worked all night, like all that. So my numbers thing, so I plug this with something that sounds better so that it's more well. So it's shows
Yep. Do you feel as though you're getting more attendance with the coffee and conversations virtually than you were in person?
the coffees are in person.
Oh, well, it says meetings, it says regular and held virtual. Oh, those are the, okay. That's the other thing. The meetings, okay, so the conversation are still in person. Do you have a lot of attendance? Because I remember I used to go to them and there was like not much.
Yeah, so this year we've had an average of 5-ish parents, which is
The same 5 or is it like all?
no, like last month we had PPAL come in and do like a presentation. Don't ask me what the acronym stands for right now. Parent Professional Advocacy League. Thank you. Beth would be very disappointed. Yeah, so they came and like chatted with parents, shared mental health resources and such. So that was nice. We had a decent group to that one. But yeah, I mean, we tried to mix it up because like some people can't do evenings because of their child, so they might do daytime, and then we shifted it a little bit because there were a handful of preschool parents who wanted to come but then dropped off time, so we did it like 9:30 to kind of thing. We were doing it a little earlier, thinking, oh, drop the kids off and come kind of thing, but then forgetting the time difference.
We brought food.
Yeah,
Before. Food entices anybody, right?
Coffee.
Like, come on. Come on.
And the church is nice and cozy and
Yeah. Someone on the Buy Nothing page donated me a Keurig to use for it.
It's nice.
Yeah, some coffee.
right. Anyone have anything else?
No.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nicole, for the years of leading this charge and for putting together these great slides.
Yeah, I just got to recruit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to recruit some board members. Me, myself, and I right now.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you gotta,
You do.
yeah, we can help with that. Just tell them it's 1 meeting a month. That's what I
I
do.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a control freak, so I do a lot of the task and sharing and all that. So it'd really just be like the behind the scenes stuff. I need
Yeah.
to do, like, planning, all that.
So, thanks, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Hold that mic closer.
Yeah, I've heard that she's not loud.
No. Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Well, if I trust your judgment,
Don't trust me.
all right. Want me to get started?
Yes,
Ready?
Nicole McDonald.
Okay,
Please get started.
So thank you for having me back. Feel like it wasn't that long ago, but maybe it was that I was here. Going to get into a little bit more information in my presentation today. But I know last time I was here, I talked a lot about placements and the different types of placements and, out of district placements, what those look like, all that good stuff. So I'm hoping to give a little bit more scope in that area. So this is my topics for tonight. The numbers, making a little bit of comparisons to some area districts. What makes Grafton unique with regard to our special education programming. And then I really wanted to celebrate, some success stories for, students and things like that. But there's confidentiality reasons where I can't share, a whole lot. So I figured I really wanted to highlight some of our special education staff members across the district as a means of really sharing some of that success that we have within Grafton Public Schools and our special education department. And then leaving the end for any questions, of course. So the numbers. So Grafton Special Education, we have, as of our October SIMS, which is our reporting to the Department of Education, we have 592 students that are special education students on IEPs. That is about 18-ish to 19% of district, which is pretty common in area districts. Our state average typically right now is about 21%. So we are lower than the state average with students that are eligible for special education services. At this point, we have 35 students that are considered out-of-district students. So when we talked last time I was here, those are our students that are public day school, private day school, or residential programming. Which is approximately 1% of our students. And that is like as of today. Obviously, that ebbs and flows as we kind of go through each school year. Right now, I do have 3 outstanding referrals for students that potentially will be placed out of district. And I also have 2 students planned to return between this school year and the start of next school year, which is great. And then we also have a number of students that will graduate or age out this year. So when I say age out, I think we talked last time that students under special education, if they require services beyond their 18th birthday, beyond high school, in order to receive free and appropriate public education, they may get services up until their 22nd birthday. So a lot of people say age out, it means they're turning 22. And that's when adult services pick up any additional support that they might need.
I'm sorry. Do you hear this noise coming back to us?
Yeah.
Like something
Like a telephone call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? It's my point.
Oh, it's your voice coming from the.
Which I don't
I thought the
like.
sound booth.
Oh boy. It's like haunting my nightmares.
So it keeps going.
Just
Keep going. Sorry. I don't think there's anything to that. We got to keep
Okay,
going.
keep going. I'm with you. All right.
All right.
So here's some comparisons that I know in a lot of our, budget discussions and things like that. I tried to use some of the school districts we're using in comparison for some of those discussions as well to help just ease our exploration of this. So the percentage of special education students, this was again as of the 2024, you'll see it linked at the top of our slides, special education performance results from the Department of Education. So we were at 18.9% at that time in which the data was collected. And you'll see some comparisons across the board from different area districts, and then our state average at the end, which is about 21%. As you see now, we are kind of like around middle of the road with regard to our number of special education students. When we talk about different factors related to special education, there are a lot of factors that play into that role. Some districts that have more general education supports, they have potential smaller classroom sizes, things that affect student progress, often does affect our special education numbers in a lot of ways. Some students that maybe have a disability that might be in a school district that has different classroom sizes, different tier 1 and tier 2 supports that are provided. Although they may have a disability, maybe they're qualifying under a 504 where they need accommodations, so they don't necessarily need specialized instruction. Sometimes that continuum of service also can affect a school district's special education numbers and how they're found eligible, what their progress looks like with regard to effective progress, all of that good stuff, which are exactly our questions that we ask for any folks that have been a part of the special education process. Does the student have one or more disabilities? Is the student making effective progress? Is that progress a result of the disability is something we ask. And then do they need specialized instruction or related services? So there's a lot of factors that play into that eligibility number for a lot of districts. Here is our numbers, which is exactly what I presented last time we came, when I last time came to the school committee meeting. We have 11 collaborative students, 16 private day, 7 residential. That's 34. This was the numbers from when I presented in October. I just said we had 35. Like I said, there's kind of a moving target with regard to some of those things. What I like about this information, it does highlight some of the areas of need in which some of our in-district programming and support maybe isn't providing that same level of support that an out-of-district program might have. So we have 18 of those students are social, emotional, and behavioral students that are related to social emotional needs. We do have 9 students that have behavioral needs associated with autism spectrum disorder. 5 students that have a disability in the area of sensory. So that might be a student that is deaf and hard of hearing, a student that is considered blind. And then we have 2 students that may be out due to academic needs, a specific learning disability of fair significance in which our supports aren't providing the right supports. So with some of that, I do like to, and I say this in a way that's, we've really tried over the last, I think this is my 6th year as in the special education administrative world. Our goal is to, as we talked about when we talked about placement, the rule of thumb is to create or find the right supports for a student with special education needs. We have worked really hard within our district to create things within district to hopefully shift some of the numbers that we have for students in which we have to find. So when I say find, I'm really talking about those out-of-district placements in which we end up having students in. So as we work through some of the programming that we've had social emotionally, we've had our social emotional program, which is called Student Success Program, SSP, at Grafton High School for a lengthy period of time. We, about 3 to 4 years ago, started the Lighthouse program at Grafton Middle School, which helps support our students with social emotional needs. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, as you saw our numbers, that social, emotional, and behavioral component is one of our largest drivers for out-of-district placements. And we have this past year just started our elementary program, which is called the Hawk's Nest at Millbury Street Elementary School, which I think we talked a little bit about last time I met with you all as well. With all of that slowly coming into place, we do have students that maybe didn't have that resource in second, third, fourth grade that did end up in an out-of-district placement. Something I do like to kind of, as we're talking about some of these things, is remind folks that these are kids, right? And students that have been potentially attending the same school for 5, 6, 7 years. It's not always as simple as saying, well, we have that program back here, and start pulling those kids back. It's a very significant collaborative effort between myself and Chris Kitchell, the family of those students, the students themselves, as well as our in-district program staff, on making those things happen for students so that they can access certain things that, of course, they have the eligibility to access when they're in out-of-district school, like Nicole highlighted, prom, graduation, things of that, extracurriculars. Those are all available to all of our students. However, it does make it more complicated when you might be going to a school that's over an hour away to come back and get to art club on Tuesdays in the afternoon at Grafton Middle School. We make it happen, and we have made it happen for a lot of out-of-district students, but it does get a lot harder to do that, especially when some of those students don't have connections to any other kids that might be attending those after-school activities. So across my 6 years in this time, we have, between Bob and I previously, and now Chris and I, have brought back about 12 or so students along the way. I will say all of those students have come back into one of our specialized programs, whether that's a social emotional program or our intensive needs programs. So our in-district programming and our out-of-district programming are so incredibly linked in a lot of ways. So I want to highlight that's a huge success for us as a district, especially given all of those factors, right? So some of those students may have been out for 5, 6, 7 years in a different school. And through that collaboration between all of us, we've created an environment where it's safe, comfortable, and really successful to bring a lot of those kids back. So I will highlight that as a big success for us over the past, couple of years. And then on top of that, some of our in-district programming, as we have talked about a number of times, we have a number of students that have tuitioned into our program in district. And some of that along the way, so when I started in the special education administrator role, very fondly, 60 years ago, with me and Bob, we had 2 students tuitioned in to the district. Over the course of the last 6 years, right now we are at 10 students tuitioned into the district. But we've also had other students that have tuitioned in and moved, or tuitioned in and aged out or graduated or things like that. So it's probably been actually like 13 students that we have been able to bring into Grafton Public Schools, develop a community for them that wasn't present in their school district that they were previously attending. So that's really, I think, something that makes us pretty unique. And I highlighted some of our unique services. So one thing I wanted to really highlight is you saw our academic numbers for students that require out of district, so a specific learning disability. There's only the 2 students. We have really robust, strong reading services across the board for students with specific learning disabilities, specifically dyslexia. A lot of that effort and work was done by Lisa Rice, Kristen Perrone, folks that have really honed in on early intervening services, screening for that. We are probably one of the best districts, and I'll say that out loud, one of the best districts at ensuring that we're following those really, really robust dyslexia guidelines that the Department of Education has put out there. And still continuing to review students' progress, making sure we're doing the right intervention for students is something that I think I have conversations about daily. So it is something that's pretty robust here in Grafton that I'm very proud of. And I would credit Bob Wall for really kind of honing in on that with Lisa Rice, which he presented, I think, multiple times about those interventions in the past. Our intensive needs programming, which we've talked about a number of times, providing special education teacher support, related services support, inclusion-based support for students, paraprofessionals. And then, like I said, our social, emotional, and behavioral support. We do have strong BCBAs and behavior learning staff. And I will add that our additional in-district programming, including our SSP program, a Lighthouse program, a Hawks Nest program, still developing, but really becoming more robust and giving students the real services they need. So I did want to include, like I said, I can't really speak to specific students and their needs, but I wanted to include a little bit about some of our teachers and staff here in Grafton. And I'm talking louder because I get excited about, the staff and everything that they're doing. So I included a couple staff. I did ask them if I could include their pictures. Some begrudgingly said yes. So I want to highlight Lynn Luiso. She is one of our special education teachers reading specifically at Grafton Middle School. Lynn has been in Grafton for, I think it's 17 years. So a lengthy period of time as a special education teacher, really got into reading specifically. I believe she was at one of the elementary schools to start, and then moved to the middle school to really support the reading program at the middle school, which is wonderful. And she is so skilled at what she does. Sarah Dieso on here is one of our LPNs in our nursing staff. She works in our Millbury Street intensive program with our medically fragile students. She has been with us for at least the last 3 to 4 years. She was at South Grafton Elementary School supporting students and moved up to Millbury Street with them. Kathleen Rocco, if anyone knows, Kathleen Rocco is probably the nicest human being that has ever lived of all time. She is one of our paraprofessionals at North Grafton Elementary School, has also been with us for well over 10 years, and works in our intensive needs program at North Grafton with some of our littles. And it, like I said, is just the most lovely human in life. Keith Oliver is a speech and language pathologist at Millbury Street Elementary School. On my list of teachers, he would hate that I'm saying this. He has worked here the longest. 1999, he was hired here at Grafton Public Schools as a speech and language pathologist. I love his shirt in this picture. So it says, "You down with AAC," which is alternative and augmentative communication. So I want to highlight the great work he does at Millbury Street along with Kathy Carew at Millbury Street. They kind of come as a pair. Then I have Tiffany Bencannon here, who is at North Street Elementary School. She's a special education teacher there. Tiffany has been with us for just about 3 years, just over 3 years, and is one of our most flexible staff, has hopped in and helped in every area that you can imagine a special education teacher would hop in and help in. I actually believe is also a Grafton resident, has children in the school district as well, and just a really great asset for us. Marco on here is one of our, he was previously a high school paraprofessional. He has recently moved to our GAIN program. And so he's one of our job coaches at the GAIN program this year. He has volunteered for just about everything you can imagine after school. He's coached a number of our unified sports, just an exemplary paraprofessional job coach for us here in Grafton. Melissa McGovern hated her her school picture. She'd hate that I also said that. So she made me replace her school picture. So I did. A lot of our teachers are very upset about their para school picture when I pull it up. But Melissa McGovern is our high school intensive needs program teacher. She has been in the district for 15 years, does life skills at Grafton High School, and really just makes her classroom a well-oiled machine. She's a calming, very mellow presence within the classroom, and has really done a lot with the students of very unique and differing needs within her classroom. So she is just wonderful. Amanda Williams is one of our BCBAs. And she is at South Grafton Elementary School as a BCBA. She actually was a paraprofessional with us previously, and kind of got her BCBA and stayed on with us. So she, I think, has been with us since 2017 or so. So a number of years as a para and then a BCBA. I like her background. It's dynamic. And, she really is such a great resource for South Grafton Elementary School and the support they provide. Well, my formatting is a little funky. Sorry. Any questions?
So, great presentation. I think as we're talking about budgets and we talk a lot about out-of-district placements, this has been really, really helpful, I think, for people to understand, how we get to out-of-district placements, what we've done to help students come back. I also think it's really interesting, and for me, it's kind of the first time I've heard us talk about the power of our SEL programming to help bring students back into the district.
Yes.
We don't always tie them together, and it's really, I think, powerful for people to hear that. So I just think this was an extremely timely, I don't have a question. I just want to thank you because I think this was just an incredibly timely presentation. And I really appreciated it. So thank you for putting the time in. Does anyone have an actual question?
I think. Okay, great. Actually, I was going to say something similar about the out-of-district placements. It's really great to remember that also it's human beings we're talking about, not cost drivers. We heard a lot of you can just last week with the select board. So it's nice to hear again how important it is and how this is somebody's life and they might be happy and doing really well at their school, and it might be the best thing for the child, the student, to stay out of district. And the SEL programming, it sounds like it's helpful for future too, which is great. My question for you is 18 to 19%. Have you seen that? I can't remember. Have you seen that number go up? Has that stayed pretty stagnant, or are we rising?
It's been pretty stagnant across the board. I think even when I started in Grafton, it was right around the same amount. And that was when Arnold was here as well, about 10 years ago. It goes up like 1%, down 1%, but it's pretty solidly in that range year after year.
Great. Thanks, Nicole. Great presentation. Always great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was looking back at your numbers for the other school districts, and then obviously seeing like Shrewsbury being like right next to us. Are we doing something more that they're not, catching in their students? Or you also mentioned having like smaller class sizes. Are they doing something where they're, maybe grouping them to get, better?
I think, without obviously speaking specifically for like Shrewsbury Special Education Department, I think that they do, from my understanding from, interactions with Shrewsbury, they do have a lot of early intervening services. They have a lot of tier 1, tier 2 supports. I would say that they do have a lot of programming for a number of students with emotional disabilities, as well as students that have English learner needs that are struggling with maybe adjusting to, transitioning to the country and different things of that nature. So that I suspect in my experience with students with special education needs is something that does help support, students that maybe we would find eligible because maybe we don't have the, those as much tier one, especially at some of our younger age levels. When I talk about our Hawks Nest program, our Lighthouse program, and our SSP program, those programs serve special education students, but they also serve 504 students. They serve students that maybe haven't been identified with a disability yet. So that is something that we have just kind of started like trickling down, I would say, 3 to 4 years for our Lighthouse program at Grafton Middle School. It's still fairly new, in the grand scheme of programming goes. We learn new things every, year about improvements to make. And of course, when you have staff turnover and different things like that, that can always affect your programming and how stable and solidified it is. But I do know Shrewsbury has a lot of like tier 1 and tier 2 supports that maybe doesn't always match what we have. So that I, can suspect or hypothesize might be a factor in some of those numbers without kind of really, and I'm too BCBA-like to make a causal effect by that. But I do think there's some linkage there. If you have a lot of robust tier 1 and 2 supports, it does delay, sometimes the need for additional supports out there.
Christine had something.
Yeah, I just had a quick question on that comparisons chart. So those numbers are where the student attends, right? Not from their sending school. If we have like a school choice kid that's coming from Northbridge, let's say, that number is under Grafton and not under Northbridge. I'm just curious.
Oh, that's a great question. They're considered, a school choice student is considered enrolled in Grafton Public Schools. So I didn't ask this question from the Department of Education's numbers, but they're considered enrolled with us. So we are responsible for their programming. So it's encapsulated in us.
Ours. Okay, I was just curious.
What if they're tuitioned in?
That would be encapsulated in the other districts.
Yeah. Okay.
So even when you look at this, I know, also when Jay's making comparisons with, some of the budget stuff and things like that, a school district like Northbridge is as much as we're at 18.9%, they're at 22.
Right.
So their eligibility factors, they may not have as much programming and things of that nature. Sometimes that happens. So they're actually higher than the state average compared to a lot of the districts that are on this list.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
You could almost just tie it, right? Like you can see the funding,
The budgets.
the budget, right? The less the budget, the higher. the number. Without doing any data or that's my.
Nicole is not going to comment on that.
Yeah. Doesn't need to comment.
Yeah.
It's such a moving target,
I mean, you look at Shrewsbury and Westboro
Right.
compared to everybody else. They have more support.
Well, that's the thing. If you have more support, then, the less you need.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, sorry, maybe.
The less
funding-wise.
identified, or right? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Right. You need to look for additional supports because they're already there.
right. They have reading interventions like on
I guess
steroids.
smaller class sizes is kind of like
All of the things.
And when you look at like a Sutton or a Mendon Upton, they may have smaller class sizes.
Yeah.
Or,
they're smaller.
They're smaller, right?
I mean, that's without doing any research. Right?
one more quick question. The totals that you had for the number of special education students, does that include with 504s? Or is it
No,
just
that is
504s?
only students on IEP.
Okay.
We have about 160-ish students on a 504.
At any level, right? Like from minimal accommodations to whatever.
Correct.
That's everybody
Yeah,
in the 504. Yep.
Whoever needs a 504. So that could be potentially a student that has diabetes
Yep.
or, something that needs some additional support, all the way to students with emotional challenges that might have a 504 for that. So all students.
Great. Thank you so much, Nicole. She's a really well-timed and helpful presentation.
Thank you.
It's Evan's afraid to move.
I'm so stressed out for Evan.
I'm stressed out for Jackie.
I'm stressed out for Evan. Like, you feel like he's been here longer.
I know.
Super stressed.
Yeah, but
Evan, up with the town budget, municipal operating budget.
Hello,
Hi.
long time no see.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run through the budget. This is a document I've already presented, but as is tradition, I'll come up and present with you folks as well and answer any questions that you may have outside of our other interactions. No, it was supposed to be more lighthearted than that, but it sounded pretty glum.
Maybe I should today.
So, all right, we'll move right past that. So again, we do this every year. We continue to try to reach out and find what services are valued most in the community. We continue to try to have a competitive work environment that's both from a cost standpoint, but also from a culture and environmental standpoint. Through my office's work with Jay's office, we do try to continue to fund the public schools as competitively as we can, given the budget that we have. So Grafton's median income is about 23% higher than the rest of the state. I'm sure that you already know that. Our home value is just a little bit under the single-family house, which is interesting given the demographic, but I think that's more of a east-west issue than it is or not issue, but representation than it is anything else. And our average tax bill is about $1,000 higher than the state's average tax bill.
It's hard.
It's an interesting data set when you start to play around with the state's numbers. We continue to have a AA stable bond rating. That's really good. Given our current shifts in our OPEB funding that we'll talk about in a second, we actually have a pretty good chance next time we go to bond to be listed as AAA, which is the highest in the state. And that's something that we've been working on consistently over the last 5 years. We have a $46 million unfunded liability in our other post-employment benefit category. However, we are up to about $1 million, 1.1 million. That's 2.3% funded. Again, 5 years ago, we had 118,000. So we are on a good trajectory there. And that $46 million is down from nearly 80 million when we started. 66 million at our last review. So through constant policy changes and updates to our funding mechanisms and how we're pursuing this, we've been able to, our last drop in liability was about $20 million saved between now and 2050. So stabilization is healthy at just under 5.2 million. Our free cash is very healthy. We've certified at 6.8 million, but after our fall town meeting, we used some of those funds to fill some other holes in the budget as well as some capital expense. We're down to about 5.6 million, which is still very robust for where Grafton finds itself historically. And our current fiscal reserves are at 14% of the operating budget. By policy, we try to be between 11 and 15%. And so we're right where we need to be. We continue to see a lot of growth. Most of that, as you can see by the blue, is in the residential area. I think we touched on that actually at the select board meeting last week. A lot of this is single family house home growth. That's what drove both of those higher assessment years, with a little bit of commercial and a little bit of industrial growth as well. sorry, this is the format changed a little bit, but so these are our general fund forecasted revenues. You can see that we continue to raise our property tax by the 2.5%. Our cherry sheet numbers are probably, well, I'd like to say conservative, but they're usually pretty close. And then our estimated local and offset receipts, as well as our other funding sources, stay fairly flat. Same thing with our enterprise fund, which is an indirect cost. That's the sewer department charging off against the town. So the slide that everybody likes to see, this is our 5-year forecast with our spending over time. And you can see that if we continue to spend at the rate we spend, and if we continue to increase revenue at the rate that we're increasing revenue, we have a $1.4 million deficit in year one, which is fiscal 27. And then all the way out to fiscal 32, we're projecting a $9.7 million deficit. I did mention this both times I've given this presentation. Anything past year 3 is just us continuing a trend between those 3 years. It's less informed than, say, years 1 and 2.
And for folks watching, and I'm sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
please do.
9.7 is cumulative.
Correct. Yes,
So
not
people
per
don't-
year.
Right.
Yes, thank you. Yes, so that's the culmination of everything. So compounding. So if we had an intervention, let's say in fiscal 27 or fiscal 28, wherever that is, that obviously changes what that deficit number looks like moving forward. This year we built our budget based on our Prop 2.5 increase, which was 1.391 million, and we pegged our new growth at $1 million. Now, last year's new growth came in at 1.2, which is a little bit higher than what we're projecting this year. I don't think we're going to be below 1.2, but it's something that's beyond our control. So we always want to be a little bit on the conservative side so that we don't find ourselves in a deficit. This is our new growth over time. All that this is showing you is that new growth continues to rise. We are in a little bit of a flat spot. So I think 1.2 is probably about where we're going to live for a little bit, provided that the housing market stays where it is, with some possible little augmentations for when UPS comes online and is taxed. And we have a couple other developments that are in process that might skew that number higher. Okay, so this is our revenue by category. I'm going to go to the bottom. Our total revenues, $85 million, including our motor vehicle excise tax and property tax. So our current total revenue is $84,187,000. That's different than the cumulative revenue on the other page because that cumulative revenue does include enterprise funds and other funds that are not impacting the general fund. Our total expenses, $85,616,000, which leaves us a deficit of $1,428,800. Here is our operating budget at a glance. So you can see general government is looking at a change of about 1%. Public safety is a 5% increase. That includes the position for the fire department that the select board talked about last week. Public works looks like we cut them by 25%. We did not. We changed the way that we fund our trash program here in Grafton, and we created an enterprise fund. Previously, sanitation lived under the public works budget, and so us taking out all the indirects and everything else along with that just skews that data down. But without that removal, it is about a 4.5% increase over last year for in-kind services. Health and Human Services is up 3.4. Culture and Recreation is 3. You know all about the schools. We've been talking about that. Our unclassifieds right now are pegged at 9.4%, with our debt service at 1.63% increase over last year. Since we've last met, I don't know if I can't remember. I've given a lot of presentations, but our initial pass for our GIC numbers is about 10.9%. And that is a projected, it's not a decrease. We're still spending 10% more than we did last year, but it's less of a increase than we were going to see if we stayed where we were. These are our, what I would call environmental increases. These are increases that are beyond our control. We don't have a lot of input here. So my insurance is up 1%, which is really holding very steady. Retirement and pension, we're up about 10%. FICA is at 1%. Health insurance, we've also pegged at 10%. If the GIC number does hold to 10.9, we will leave it at 10%. We do have, that line is always slightly not over budgeted, but there's more wiggle room in that line than there are in other lines because we do give ourselves room for people coming on and off the program, and we can't obviously predict whether they're going to be families or singles or what they're going to do. So at 10.9, we're okay with what we've already budgeted. And then Blackstone Valley, we put 10% in there just as a hopefully worst case placeholder, and we can back up from there. So the total is a budget growth of about 9%, or no, not a total budget. Sorry, just these environmental increases are about 9%, which is 1.2 million of that $1.4 million deficit that we were talking about on the other page. So things that are on our side of the table a little bit, we have 2 union contracts that are up for bid renegotiation right now. We haven't started either of those. We did up our revenues a little bit, a little bit, $500,000, which is, getting closer to us being out of our comfort zone. We're still on the conservative side so that we don't run into anything catastrophic, but we're moving in a direction where we're, trying to close that gap in any way that we can. I've also talked to a ton of town administrators in the state of Massachusetts who are also right on the edge of their comfort zone for revenue, trying to close those gaps that so many towns are finding. And then this is obviously what I pitched to the select board. But we're at the point, we don't have a lot of other levers. I don't know of any levers that we have left to pull. We're pretty much at an override or cuts conversation, which you've all been a part of. But we moved a lot of things in the last fiscal year or 2 fiscal years, tried to get as creative as we could, and we don't have a lot of running room left to go. These are for the select board, so you don't need to worry about those. And then lastly, we'll talk about the reduction budget, just a little bit of what that looks like on our side of the house. So as I already said, GIC was up 10%, and Worcester County Retirements are right around 10%. So we pegged our first budget number at $425,000 reduction, which reduces municipal staff by 5.5 FTEs. Still not going to go into specifics as we talked last week. We do have a plan, but I have not had conversations with those staff that are going to be impacted, and I'm going to do that before we publicly talk about their livelihood. I think that is it.
Questions for Evan? Thank you, Evan. Oh, sure. Good. Christy?
Evan, last week when we met, we spoke about those stabilization funds, and you sent out an email saying that there was a stabilization fund created in 2017 at town meeting, and that there was $100,000 in it. Well, that $100,000 had been transferred in it from free cash. What is the balance on that account?
I don't have the balance today, but I've asked for a review of that. So we're putting all that data together.
Yeah. Do we know, could we add more from free cash since we have 6.9 million in free cash to go into a stabilization account for the?
Yeah, we have 5.6 million.
Well, you said 6.9.
No, 6.8 million. Then we use money at town meetings, so we're down to 5.6.
All right.
And just for everyone's edification, you can only use a third of that. You can't use the whole amount. You can, but there will be an impact to your bond rating and your ability to finance things over time. So the short answer is the way I read it, yes, you'd be able to do a transfer at town meeting to put money into that.
Into that one, and then how would you put money into the other one, the stabilization?
I'm
fund
not 100%
reserve for-
sure. The stabilization exists. The other one doesn't appear to have ever been formed correctly.
So there's no, you don't believe there's any 200,000, like,
We're working on that right now. So there's a vote at town meeting, but then in the review of the chart of accounts and where all the finances is, we're having some difficulty on that. So we don't know if they never created it properly at the time or if it's somewhere in the general fund that's categorized wrong. So we're working through that right now.
right. So, but going forward, I mean, with that first stabilization fund where we took 100 grand from free cash, clearly no money has been added to it since then, but I mean, the thought behind that entire thing was that money would be continually added for such a reason.
Yes, speculatively, that's why they created it. I don't know that one.
That's why they created it. And then when you speak on health insurance, so what do you, I guess, ballpark budget in your head of what somebody would, what the cost of an employee going on health insurance? What is that like? To the town.
Yeah. So we pay 70%,
Right.
right? So given the premiums, I think we're at like $12,000.
Annually?
For
Yes.
having or a family?
That's a
Or is
great
that the
question.
average.
I'm ballparking this right now. I don't have my numbers in front of me, so I will gladly again get more information, but I believe that's where we're at.
Right. And then I had sent an email and I had asked in the last meeting, and you said you'd get back to me regarding last year when we let go of 6 people, 2 people filed for unemployment. Do you have that number yet as to how much that cost the town and where that came from?
I do, but I will send that out. We're working on changing the way that we are approaching that unemployment number. So I've got 2 other things to do, and then I will send out a response.
Okay. Yeah, because I was speaking with the superintendent today even, and some of this just didn't even make sense because if we got rid of 4 people to cover the unemployment, then that would create another $80,000 in unemployment. And so where would this ever kind of end?
When the people stop taking unemployment, we're employed.
Well, if you're using employees to cover unemployment, then those people would then file for unemployment, and it would be kind of circular.
That is one of the problems that we face. Yeah.
Okay.
The 6.32, I think, yeah, that we go up, the increase. Is that a little skewed because of the money we used? Sure. Right. So it's really a few, because last year we used cash that we had in revolvers and circuit breakers. So
Yeah, that 6.3 is just based on literally
What?
budgeted last year, budgeted this year. That's
Right.
That's all that it's showing you.
right. So it's not that we're just the most expensive and quickly, increasing department. I mean, it's based on that too.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the numbers, if you go by strict percentage, get really skewed really fast.
Yeah.
I remember one year I added $5,000 to the senior center and they went up by like 12%.
Right.
And so it's like, somebody should rein them in, but also it's only $5,000 so they can get new curtains and paint the room. So,
Yeah, the
those,
The percents are
those,
not a great way to look at things, I guess.
yeah, you definitely, this is
going.
definitely a 35,000 foot overview. If you want to see more, you can go on to ClearGov and all the lines are there.
I think this is a really good, kind of town budgeting for non-municipal nerd publication. Presentation.
That's what we're trying to achieve.
We're on the road with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can get real granular really fast if you want to.
I bet you could. See, anyone have any other questions for Evan? Jay, did you want to say anything or add to it in any way? I know you're going to get into budget for us.
Yeah,
anyway.
nothing. Yeah, just thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, we appreciate
Absolutely.
it, Evan. Thank you.
Always a pleasure to come up
Yeah.
to the second floor.
Right?
Thanks for visiting.
Yes, thank you very much.
They're up here.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Delaney, we're going to get really boring, so we're going to bump you up.
I thought,
Are we gonna?
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of updates. The main thing was that we started a new semester today, and that the Grafton High School newspaper is being reinstated for the next school year.
So awesome. I love that. Those are great updates.
Oh, so that be the Globe? Are they going to be changed in, or they haven't announced it yet? They said it's being reinstated next year.
is it print
Awesome.
or is it just?
I think it might be both.
To do that thing like people.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks, Delaney.
Especially with how they're like reporting they've been doing on the spotlight. Like it's like almost like an article, but where
Good luck to you, okay, Debbie.
Thanks, Dylan.
Uh-huh. So I'm sorry, staging. Oh, it's cup. Oh,
That's a funny fact.
that's a fun thing. Oh, let's look at us being media people.
I know. I used to photocopy it in the library.
Did you scan stuff back in? Because I know somebody likes to print stuff and scan it.
I'm just a yearbook. Jackie. I have a copy of your book too.
All right. It's the longest meeting we've had right now.
Exactly.
Beset with
The
technical
tech stuff
difficulties.
Stresses me out to no
Feels like we've been here for hours.
I know.
I know.
Oh,
I don't have no, I have no
what are we
idea.
on now?
And like, I feel like we have so much left to talk about.
I know.
I wasn't. I love it though.
FY27?
FY 27
Perfect.
budget. Hey,
Okay, so I
let's go.
do not have a set presentation for you. I've got this slide, which I guess you can't even, I don't even know if you can see it. Let's share. Let's try that. Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. This slide, this isn't a new slide. This is what we kind of left with the last school committee meeting on. And obviously last Tuesday, the school committee met with the select board. And this is one of the, I guess that this helped on the school side frame where we stand. So I was hoping tonight to get some direction from the committee if there's any to be given, kind of give the committee a chance to reset a little bit. I have, as always, a million backup slides. If you have questions, I might be able to answer them tonight, or if I need to look into it, I will say that and get you that information. But I certainly want to go into next Tuesday ready, and the same for the following Tuesday when we meet again. So we've set that, we've got the developing preliminary level service budget at 50.5 million. Cost drivers, we have three that drive everything: salaries, out of district tuitions, and corresponding transportation costs. So going back to what Evan just talked about, we've been looking at on the school side of reducing that level service budget by between 1 million and 1.2. And what I presented to all of you 2 weeks ago and then to the joint committees last Tuesday was a preliminary reduction plan totaling $1,061,000. So if we just keep unemployment aside, roughly 14 teacher and counselor positions impacting programming and class size.
So when you kind of say you're looking for direction, one of the things that I've kind of been thinking about and becoming increasingly sort of troubled about is the fact that we were asked to cut more last week. And I have to say that after 2 years of going in there and showing that we're in the bottom 4% of spending and well above the average in the state average in results, what we're saying is not working. We've cut. There's no more to cut. I don't really want you or your team to spend any more time trying to cut, for me personally, and I look forward to what my colleagues think. But, you know, we go in there and we not brag, but we go on and on about how little we spend thinking that it's going to work and it's not working. With all due respect to the taxpayers, which I completely understand, I have a family budget too, but a lot of our taxpayers are parents who are contacting members of this committee wondering what, how we're protecting the schools. I do not feel that as a committee we should go back next week and with any further reductions. I frankly hope that we have no reductions.
And can I just add, I should have added, Rebecca, you weren't able to be there, but we did catch up. The direction that Kathleen and I took was, I think the term was scrubbing the budget, but she is working to add greater detail to the preliminary budget, tie as best she can to actuals. We're meeting tomorrow. We talked about, a gentleman stood up and talked about ClearGov. We're certainly not going to spend $40,000 on the module, but she being Kathleen had a discussion with Mary about the possibility of considering the school or using the school as a department. It would be a bigger department than the whole town. But if that works, seems like a pretty cost-effective workaround if it does. We are going to go that avenue if we can. So I'll report back on that. But that was all I wanted to add.
Even when I think about the scrubbing, and I'm sorry, I'm going to let somebody else talk, but I've just been really ruminating on this for a week and I'm very fired up. Okay, so we scrub, whatever that means, and there's 20,000. I don't even know how much it is. I mean, we've blown through our sort of money allocated to fixing roof leaks and HVAC for the whole year already. So we make ourselves even more vulnerable to the unexpected, which we know is going to happen. I really feel like what we're saying to the select board isn't working because we're saying, we're really, really frugal and we promise to keep being frugal. And they go, great, be more frugal, because we've spoiled everybody by making it work. And I'm disturbed and distressed about it a little bit. So I would love to hear what other people think, because I should stop talking now. Laura?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well said. I have also had it was a tough week for many reasons. I heard from several constituents that they feel like there's nobody fighting for the schools. We're not doing our job. Now, I was thinking about a lot. I take a lot of those things to heart. Also, we just, and you sound a little, I feel like I'm sounding a little nutty. I just watched Evan's presentation and I have a really good understanding of our town budget. I also go line by line. Let's be clear, we all go line by line on the damn budget. So I also don't want to hear that ever again, or be accused of that ever again. But when we did our first override 10 or 11 years ago, whatever it was, we started with, what does Grafton look like if we go to great? What does Grafton look like if we're good? What does Grafton look like if we don't get this override? We haven't had that luxury to even talk about that in a very long time. I couldn't even, and I think Grafton has improved in so many ways. And that's also something we say level service, but we also have we just heard Nicole, all these things that have done that are really great. So when we tell our story, I get a little frustrated too, because I hear people coming at me and saying, well, you're not. And it's no, we've been working with death by 1,000 cuts, but also we improve on on so many things. It's hard to show, unless we just use test scores or nonsense like that. I mean, I think Nicole's presentation was really great to highlight a specific programs that we have. So I also don't want to present any more cuts. I understand that the number is large, and I guess my thought is that's not really my job, right? My job is not to figure that out. That, again, I think I said this last year. That's why I'm not on the select board. But our job, or my job, is student achievement and thinking, what can we make student achievement happen? So I am not interested in, I have a feeling we might come back and they're going to settle on a number and it might not be big enough, but I'm also not interested in having people tell us what we need to cut, because that is also our job. And it feels like it's very difficult to kind of have a real conversation in a meeting of 10 people. And I know, especially when they're just trying to do their job too. And I have much respect for all of them. It's a hard job. but also schools are under them. Like they don't get the budget, but like the voters are also people who care about schools. So I should shut up because I don't know what I'm saying. But like I think it's been frustrating because one, we can't win, which I know on school committee you really can't ever win. We're either doing too much or we're not doing enough, and that's frustrating. So I guess I want to reignite myself that, yep, we're here to advocate for the schools. It's not up to me to worry about the taxpayer. It's my job to make sure we spend our money correctly and not, waste it frivolously. And it will be, I'll be there to help advocate to get more money, but it's not my job to figure out the numbers. I guess that's my thought.
Stella and then Christy.
Thanks. I don't like the reduction budget at all. 14 teachers is a lot. I think we should go in there firmly with, wanting to push for an override and to have, bring it to the voters. I've heard from a lot of, constituents or, friends, and, they're worried about the class sizes because we're already, at 20 something plus. And then if you add, if you cut one teacher, you're almost probably at 27, and learning is tough as it is with that amount of kids, and losing 14 teachers across the district is, I don't know, that's to me is a lot of people. And, Nicole shared so many great things that we're doing. And then, kind of like looking at the like Shrewsbury Westboro number, they're doing, also that with like, other smaller class sizes. So we should be doing the same thing. I don't want to go in there and say, yeah, we'll cut it like $1 million. I want to stand firm that we can, we want to be good, great, but I just don't want to cut it at all. And I think they should either bring it to the voters, let them decide. And if they speak and they say no,
We have a
live with
reduction
it.
budget, but we don't have to further reduce, in my opinion.
I know Christine.
Yeah,
But
I want to know what Christy has to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, so, I think that the direction, Dr. Cummings, as you stated, was right, that we're going to be looking at more of an actual based budget, as you had said. And what Kathleen is saying is that we're going to be scrubbing the salaries and starting back with that. I think once we go back to the select board with something a little bit more concrete than what's this projection is, I think we'll be on a better footing, at least on our end, to say, like, we've done everything you've asked us to do. Here we go. And then look at the reduction. And then with the reduction, in addition, I don't want to cut teachers, and I don't want to cut any teachers, let alone 14 teachers. I really want us to look further into, as Evan said, with these, if we have to come up with a reduction budget after that, after we do the scrubbing of the salaries and rework those numbers, then we need to actually be looking at these stabilization accounts and understanding what we have in these accounts, why money has not been added to these accounts. These accounts were created 8-9 years ago. If we had been adding even $20,000 to these accounts over those years, we could continue to grow. And we need to make sure that happens going forward, that we don't, these accounts were created for one reason. So I think the direction from the select board, as I've heard it, and as I've heard from my constituents as well, is that, and as what you've stated, and Kathleen, I can see in the master budget is going through it already, and I'm going to meet with her tomorrow morning at 9, is let's get the actual budget and then go from that point.
I want to be clear, though. It's not like the budget's not real.
This is a projection.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate the projection rate going lower.
Okay, but the point being is that this is what has been asked of us to do.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying no matter how much scrubbing is done,
Right.
I would recommend that this committee goes beyond that 4th percentile on the state budget.
I understand.
Okay.
Right.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Rebecca?
I agree. I think we need to move forward with pushing for an override, but I think it'll be interesting to have the conversations about what that number would look like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of scrutiny this year over this override. And I think that the more we can do as a board to ensure that we can all stand behind this, the better we are in doing what members of our own constituents, the select board, other people are asking us to do. Let's just do it. Let's just sit down and do it. And then we can say, we've done it. We've done what you've asked. Here you go.
There's always been scrutiny. When we've been through it a lot of times, and it's great if we want to represent our budget. I don't imagine the budget. I really just, that's great. I had a question, and I didn't ask. Does anybody remember? Ms. Foley said something about she had something she had asked.
Note of that.
The tuition, adding a student?
No, it wasn't anything. She said none of us had looked into it.
At the very least, I think she might have, remember, way back, it was probably October.
Was it?
She remembered, she couldn't, she was great. Yeah, she asked some questions during the meeting, that she had many others, sent them to me. I think I shared my answer. I think maybe on there, somewhere in there, she mentioned, I believed, and I will double check this.
Okay.
Glad you brought that up.
It was like a grant or some sort of.
No, I believe what she's referring to was some towns like Shrewsbury. I don't know if they still do, but when I worked there, they had a parent organization that wasn't PTG, it wasn't PTO.
The Grafton Education Alliance.
Our
good friend Debbie had that. Broad.
That's not. I'm just not positive,
Okay,
but it's all confirmed. But I think that's.
Great, rise up, Grafton people. That's not our job.
Yeah.
But
it would be great if we had
Be
it.
just crystal clear. I could be wrong.
No.
Anne Marie Foley. And
It's a
that was
great
my
idea.
thinking when she said it.
But we did. We used to have that. We can't even get parents to help their own kid do special education. We're going to go for it. Get together and figure out how to fundraise. Rise up. I'm all for it.
Take a lesson from the boosters who come out of the gate like
For
crazy and they're
PTGs, we already
killing
have
it.
so many
We do have
parents that are
PTGs doing
such
work.
a great job.
Yes.
But yes, that was an amazing group that they aged out, and there was nobody
behind them.
and Miss Dabney every day. But yeah, she moved.
But yes, I think
Well, if you could look into it, because if it is something else, I would like. I
want to make sure we answer right.
What did it do?
They fundraise. They were an overall they helped pass the first override. They were super helpful with that. I can reach out to Doug and get information.
I know we have the Yes Grafton.
No, it was very different.
Okay.
Wasn't it? That was an override ballot initiative. That's separate. This was the Grafton Education Alliance. They gave out scholarships. They sponsored a spelling bee, which was very fun for years. Remember?
Yeah.
They raised money. It was but it was overarching. It wasn't for one school. It wasn't for groups like PTGs or for certain schools. The boosters are obviously for sports. It was lovely. I guess I'm going to look into it.
I guess it seems similar to a PTG or a PTO.
Yeah.
Because, I think back in the 2015 days, we didn't raise as much money as we raise today. So I think, sometimes that maybe, you put it in different buckets,
Correct.
It's you give to that, then you give to your,
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah,
the
kids fundraising has been more intensified as the budget
Right.
gotten lower, and there's been amazing parents who we're very grateful for. I shouldn't have made that comment that we couldn't get people. That was kind of nasty, and I didn't mean it. I'm very appreciative of all our parents. It's just there's only so much you can ask of people to do, and that's what I meant. And I didn't mean to sound like I wasn't appreciative, because God knows I am. But
it sounds like it's maybe distributed into different.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, to be honest.
I'd rather spend time on the stabilization thing, figuring out why we can add money to that.
There's hundreds of conversation about the stabilization.
Yeah.
Because so I started can we back up?
Yeah,
about 10
let's talk
years?
about that.
Because it was something that I brought into the town. It was not popular with the select board, especially with some of the select board that are on it now. We got it passed at town meeting. It was supposed to be a fail-safe. So we had to still go back to town meeting and get 2/3 of the money. If we found ourselves oh my God, we have no money and someone's moved into our district. So we'd have to go to town meeting, or have an emergency town meeting, and it's a 3/4 vote or something. We were said casually by one of the select board members, hey, how are we going to fund this? The town isn't going to fund this. You're going to have to fund it. Previously, many years ago, the schools used to budget differently and had money left over, and they would give the town back a lot of money. So in some people's mind who have been in Grafton government for a long time, they still sometimes think that's what's going to happen. So that happened, 10 years ago. I don't know how it got set up or if it got set up or what happened. That sounds like that needs to be. But it sounds like to me the money that we've had left over has kind of gone back to the town, and that's been like $20,000 here, which is, I agree, Christy, like it's great money. 10 years, that'd be $200,000. Love it. That would have been great. That didn't happen. So moving forward, we maybe can discuss it, but it sounds like the money went maybe like, you can just figure things out in July. Like we don't have tons of money left over to go
That's
through.
correct.
Right.
But the stabilization fund just is set up for, and I get, speak and argue this is an emergency, but you still need to like go to town meeting. You got to transfer it over, and it needs to go, I think.
There were two
quickly. The other one, I don't know what
So
you're talking about.
so there's two funds. There's one, the stabilization fund, and according to that email that Evan had sent out, that was set up in 2017.
Yes.
We put $100,000 in it from free cash, or had agreed to it.
Yeah.
Like he said right here, he does not know the balance in that account.
Yes.
And
That's
like,
what I'm
like
talking
you're
about.
saying, like, yeah, there, if we could have kept adding, maybe, or where maybe we could take from free cash, whatnot. The second one was created in 2018, and that's a special education reserve fund. And with that one, we do not have to go to the town. It would only have to be approved by the school committee. And at that town meeting, it had said that there would be 200,000 transferred into it from the general stabilization account. Now, the question being is there any money in there? Evan doesn't know, right? Did we just agree to this and then no money got put in? What if there is money put in? Why wasn't this continually be added? Because part of that whole reserve was that the balance can't exceed 2% of the annual school spending. Now, annual net school spending. Now that arises another question: net versus gross. Are you talking about what we're spending after the cherry sheets, what we're spending? How does that work, right? Because if you're looking at 2% of a $47 million budget, that's $950,000, right? That we could have been like continually adding. So it's kind of a major question as to what these two accounts are, why we have not been adding to them. Like, because even if it's not for today, 5 years from now, we should get on this as to what is happening.
I sent you all the email that came April 4th, 2018 from Rebecca Meekins, who was our former town administrative assistant town manager. So this is when Anita was here working for the town, Dan was here, Jay was here. The first initial one, it says, they said, we don't know the source of the funding at this point, is still unknown. So we'd have to dig back.
Yeah, it's funny because the first one is called the Special Education Stabilization Fund.
Yeah, that's different.
And that's the one
That's
that
what I was talking
that's what
about.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
But
And
that
that's
is
where you need,
different from this other.
that is different from the other one. There's
Okay.
two,
I thought they were the same.
they're not the
No.
same.
Okay.
There's two accounts.
And there's even a definition in that email. Once you
Right. So I really recommend reading that email. I recommend that we talk to the select board, even if it takes like, and I'm not saying a surplus of 20 grand. I'm saying if the town has free cash of a certain amount, why isn't it that we're constantly even adding 50 grand on an annual basis to these accounts? If we can build it up to, if we could build this up to 900,000, or
Yeah, that might.
why would, I mean,
Yeah. I think
if
it
not
sounds
for
like
today,
there's-
but for tomorrow, but we still need to talk
potentially
about.
there was an error that somebody who's no longer here made. So let's just be clear that that might have happened, and then we can just maybe request that we need to figure out what's going on and move forward. Is what I would like to do, because I
Right.
don't want to.
Right, that's not,
These people I just sent that email, none of them are here even. So none of them are here. I don't, and Tim was like, we had a different, everybody's gone. So that's an awesome find.
right, but maybe
Yeah.
even like if the town is willing to give us out of free cash, something, even like 100 grand. And when we're talking about cutting people, like you guys say, this is not widgets, this is people. So if we could get money out of
I'm in total agreement.
Okay.
It sounds like I'm not.
Okay.
I just don't want it to be, I don't want to complicate it like that this is going to save us this year. I think it's more of a future thing. And I just want to be mindful that we're going to let Evan kind of dig into it, and it'll be interesting to find out. I might dig into more of my emails. That was what I just found with one search.
But yeah,
Okay, so yeah, just so we're.
I think it's awesome.
Two accounts.
Two
Yeah.
accounts. Thank you for my mind is clearly going.
Do you remember either of these things, Dr. Cummings? Do you remember yesterday?
It's hard to remember.
I have a vague recollection.
Yeah.
I remember Dan Gale going on and on about the second thing.
Me too. Maybe we have Dan. We're still in touch with Dan.
I can find out from Dan.
It's odd to me that we don't know what's in these accounts. Like, so
I'd keep your expectations low.
Low.
on this second.
yeah, but
They may have
just
never
even that we
heard
don't know even any number is an odd, like,
I mean, I'd love to find that warrant. You know, I need to go like back to 2018.
well, yeah, he
Find the
put
warrant.
the copies of the warrants, I think, in that email.
2018.
Yeah, 2018. Evan had sent out an email to us
Yeah,
in the
I
select board.
appreciated that. But moving, I guess, do you understand, like, for next Tuesday, you're doing nothing more?
Well,
No, no, then
Kathleen's
Kathleen's
going to keep
continues
plugging
to work
away.
on
I
it.
didn't promise at that last meeting that we'd have some perfect budget on whatever the
Right.
date
you had
is.
said it would
next
take
week.
at least 2 school committee meetings.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So I just don't want you guys to think I'm going to
So,
unveil
but
some.
I feel comfortable. I mean, I don't know about the rest of the members of the school committee, but I feel very comfortable saying at the joint meeting that, you know, we're just in favor of an override. I mean, whether the budget's changes by a fraction of a percentage point, I don't think that matters to, you know, our advocacy for the students in the schools.
Yeah, I think they find like 20,000 and it's like, but we're still at 1.4. Like that's
I don't think it
little bit here
fundamentally
and there,
changes
it's-
anything.
yeah.
And again, the budget's a living document. Jay has shared with us numerous times how things can change in an instant, right? So we need a number and then the allocation might change, but I don't find us in a situation where we're going to be asking for something that we can't use.
Well, and I don't know, it sounded, you know, I don't know if it's like we like have to do like what you said, like, you know, there's some people that are still waiting for us to make certain decisions that may or may not be made, but
I don't think it's at
that's
this
what's
point.
frustrating.
It feels like just delaying. Well, the budget's not 100%, so we can't make decisions. I think we all know where we're heading. We're heading to 14 reductions or not. Those are the choices.
Yeah, maybe it'll be 13 or 12.
Right.
Okay, that's still awful.
Right.
I mean, we obviously, right, it's people, it's their livelihood. Yeah. But it's also students. I mean, there's a lot we have to look into that, not necessarily other, you know, just like I said on the select board, they have to think about different things that we have to think about. Or
Yeah.
we have to think about our students
Yeah.
and, you know, what different decisions we'll need to make.
I mean, if you look at like this, it's like if we make, well, I don't know what the reductions are, but if one more child goes out of district, then it, you know, the 1 million we're looking at, you know,
There is zero scenario where we can make a few little cuts and not have an override. Nor do I think at this point we've cut plenty. Do we need to make cuts and have an override? We already did that. We did it last year. We did the cuts last year.
Yeah. I think they were hoping to get that number. Like, I think that number is big and it's hard for people to digest because we've never had a number this big for our overrides. So my thought was that, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I thought the thing I was getting was not that they were like, we don't need an override. My
No.
thought was, we don't want this large an override. What else can you do? It's going to be really hard for us to advocate while we're still cutting. Like, I would be mad as a taxpayer to have my taxes raised to save maybe $10. And I know I'm in a place of privilege to say that. But still not be able to have full program.
medical services.
But that is my thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and not knowing that what all the average numbers is. I've heard different things. I don't like to say numbers if I don't know what they are 100%. But that to me is something, you know, I'd be concerned and not knowing what they're talking about now, you know, and I don't know, but that would be something I would reach out to as an individual and be like, you know. But the other thing I think we need to keep in mind is it's hard to come back from a failed override too. So I know there's that mindset of what can we get past? And that's from Grafton, right? We've always been that way. We've always been conservative. That's why we didn't go for that great the first time. And that's why we just, you know, we've always gone for level services because we are we need to get it passed. So you have to think about that too. And again, not my job.
But as Evan said, I think it's important, Evan said in his presentation, after the third year, it's total 100% speculation. So maybe we're not looking at that big number. Maybe we're looking at 3 years and what can we do that's palatable for folks, but protects and even gives us runway to grow if we can, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where maybe cuts or reallocation of things, like what's not serving the district and our students, but what and where can we reinvest some of that?
Even the first year is speculative. I mean, last year, Dr.
Everything's
Cummings had suggested that this year it would be about $800,000 less than what this number is. Based like last year when he gave his projections for FY27, it was, like I said, 800.
That's who knew about that.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to look out, like, even 1 year is extremely speculative.
Right. For the people.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that we just need to do what the select board has asked. I think that we go through it, Dr. Cummings, we make it that there's 0 holes in this budget. There's nowhere for anybody to ask you a question for which you cannot provide an answer. Because if you do go through this line by line, which I have gone extensively through line by line, and I mean, to the point where I've gone back 4, 5, 6 years, and I have the entire thing all done. I could ask you a question and it would be questionable. And I don't want anything like that to happen. So I think we just do what we're supposed to do. Go through it, make the actual budget, then go back, say, look, we did what you wanted. We're at, let's say, 50 million even, or whatever the number is. And they can say, well, did you do it? And we say, yes. Right now, they're asking, so just do it. I didn't just do what we're asking.
So what are we talking about now?
So I think just do, like, until we get this number done, I don't even know.
Number's not gonna-
I understand, James. So I think until that's done, I mean, I don't know what there is to really ask of the select board, because until we finish what they've asked of us, what are we asking of them at this point?
Asking them to advocate for the school.
No, I'm not advocating for the schools. I'm just stating.
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
You are. I understand.
Yeah.
Christy, we're asking the select board to listen to us and understand what our budget is. Some of those, they're the same questions that they ask every year. Like, I understand.
That was my frustration, right?
It's hasn't changed. Our cost drivers are, we didn't know about, we had an out of district tuition. That's why there's 800, we didn't know that. Like, they didn't, we don't report to them either. And they, it's not going to the principal's office. Although our principals are lovely. See, again, stop talking. I will.
No, you're doing
No,
great,
I will,
actually.
Leora. I'm
No,
not
no,
stop
I didn't
talking.
mean it
No,
that way.
I know. I love our principals. But when we were in school, they weren't, they were mean.
Was that when Jay was a principal?
Was Jay a principal in the 70s?
Probably.
Oh, Christy's joking.
He was a little bit of a 70s. You stop talking.
You're right. Listen,
But I almost think it's like a stall tactic to go back through
Correct.
and
It's not going
find,
to do anything.
like, find $10, find
I understand what
$20,
Christy's saying. There's a way,
I understand.
well, I get that. And that seems like that's being worked on by Kathleen and you guys.
Yes.
Great. Good.
But
That number, whatever that's going to, let's say it's the same number. I can promise you on probably, let's assume the first week of July is quiet. By the second week, I'm already having to mess with it. We had
Of
3
course.
kids move in, 800,000 in July.
Of course.
I didn't see that coming. So therefore, we start scrambling. We scramble constantly
Which
and
is
try to
why-
land it. And we've somehow landed without going back to the town, asking for more money during the year for 15 years. But we are that margin is ridiculously thin now.
Right. And
Like,
you've done
we're
an
gonna look at
amazing
the
job
2026
15
memo,
years
like-
managing the override money that we have been very grateful to receive. People want
Very
our schools to be
generous.
strong.
That's great. But it's super thin. I wish we could just set the budget and make it all pretty and we're all set. It can be pretty, but I can tell you, we're not going to be all set. There's just no way.
I just, yeah, I
I
don't.
think they're just looking for a Hail Mary in there, like, something you can cut that's going to be.
I don't even
you
know.
Can, you can do that to no end. I mean,
Right.
your house, you're in financial crisis in your family. I could walk through your house 50 times and find something that, oh, that's a fancy toaster. Do you really need the chrome? And grab your toaster and do it again and take your vacuum cleaner and give you a broom. You
Not
can
gonna
play
take
that
my
game
microwave.
endlessly. Endlessly.
I think that's a great analogy.
Well, it's true, and you can kind of live without it, but
Yeah, but you sell it on Facebook Marketplace. You get $40 back.
That was my girl.
that's it.
Jola.
Yeah. I
Okay,
just-
well, that helps.
Does it?
Does it? I don't.
Yeah,
It seems
I
a
don't
little
think we're
wacky,
missing
but-
anything. I think Kathleen's gonna
Yeah.
do what she's doing. If it works with
Kathleen-
ClearGov and everybody can look at it, great, but we're in the bottom 4% in the state. It's just ridiculous
Yep.
to say that we're overspending. Like, that's just nonsense.
It is.
Yeah, well, it seems like a lot of people want to be on school committee, which is amazing, and they want to decide where comes from the money. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess we're clear. Ish
Yeah,
as mud.
it confirms kind of where I thought we were going.
I don't even know what we're all saying next time. Then when we meet with them next week, because we're all
Well, listen, they're making decisions tonight. We'll talk more.
Yeah.
I really think I totally get it. It's like I said, it's everybody has different
drivers and
drivers and things to think about, right? Like I don't think about the person on, till I think about the students.
okay.
All
Thanks,
right, I
Jay.
guess I'll just stay here.
Yeah, keep going.
All right, the timing on this next one feels poor, but I do believe it's important. Tonight, I'm looking for the approval from the school committee of a new position request. As you know, and as Nicole spoke to, we've been building our intensive needs programming, K through 12. It's been very, very successful, but we want to utilize some of our tuition in funds. We had a student recently tuition in to one of these programs, utilize a portion of that tuition, create a position that would potentially strengthen all of this programming K-12, where initially for the next few months, the primary focus will be at the 2-6 level. We have a program at North Street and one at Millbury Street, and they're both doing really well, but they could use more support in terms of coaching, embedded professional development, modeling, really take the programs to the next level. And we believe that what we'd like to do is hire an interim intensive needs coordinator, try it out for the remainder of the year. The person would be on the teacher contract, see what works, what doesn't work between now and June. We are very, very confident it's going to have a very, very positive impact, but time will tell. And reassess in May and June, and then depending on how all of what we just talked about falls into place, either looking to keep some version of the program, of the position going forward, or revert back to what we were doing previously. So we're going to post it internally. And again, it would be on a teacher contract.
And again, the tuition.
Correct.
Is paying for
More than
yeah,
covers
yeah.
the cost for half year.
Say how much the salary?
Yeah, what is the salary range?
We don't, well, assuming we hire somebody who's already with us internally, obviously the cost comes from backfilling that. That's a position that we should be able to hire for effectively, I'd say, 64,000 or less. So roughly a half a year, 32 to 35,000. And the tuition in from this student is twice that.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the intensive needs coordinator job description as presented.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous.
Ongoing.
Jay, keep
All right, collaborative reports. DESE requires all collaboratives to put out regular reports for the school committees of participating districts. So Grafton belongs to the Southern Worcester County Educational Collaborative and the Aspet Valley Collaborative. I provided the reports and corresponding documents from both of those collaboratives for you to look at. If you do have any in-depth questions, I can do my best to answer them or put you in touch with the collaborative directors. No vote is needed. I simply need to show Desi that we've put this before you.
Anyone have any questions based on going through them? Okay,
Okay.
great.
Transportation assessment. So this is under superintendent report.
Yeah.
As you are all very well aware, one of our AA drivers is facing serious criminal charges. The situation has been incredibly challenging on many levels over the past month plus in my world. I've been focusing on assessing where we stand in terms of transportation safety. So moving forward as the case progresses, I want to ensure that our students are obviously as safe as possible. So with that, I am working on putting a report together that I plan to have it complete, something that I can present to all of you at the next school committee meeting. So a report as focused primarily on monitors, the potential incorporation of a bus tracking system and transportation staffing. So basically lay out what we found in terms of best practices, what area districts are currently doing, those that do any of the things, especially the bus tracking system, what works, what doesn't work, try to provide a lot of realism to whatever I put before you, and basically like a menu of services with attached costs, and make recommendations. And if the committee chooses to take my recommendations or exceed them, we'd obviously know what those costs were. And if there are specific questions on timeline, et cetera, if I don't have the information, I'll be able to get it by the following meeting. Yeah, I think that covers everything. Any questions about that or anything you want me to look into?
I know I asked you about like the bus tracking system.
Yep.
The cost has to be absorbed by us.
Most likely.
I mean, in light of the events, is there like
It's a very good question, but I would say right now it would probably fall on the district. I don't know. The districts that utilize the system are typically significantly larger, and they typically have a staffing team, more than one person that can help manage it. If it were to be added into a contract, we're going to pay it one way or the other, either through the contract revision or pay for it on our own, is my guess. We're going to look into, I have reached out to and I'm utilizing former principal Kevin Carney to help me with this work. We met virtually for this morning to start this work. There's a lot. I can talk about the costs. By that time, I'll have met with AA Transportation again, Grafton Police Department, obviously our special ed department. I've talked to daily about this in the principals. In terms of communication, there's a lot of misunderstanding about about transportation and how it works. And a lot of people think we have a transportation team that sits with like a bank of video, screens or something. We don't. It's me and Frank Rothwell. With the bus tracking, that's a lot of people have reached out. They think it's like this live action tracking system. I looked into it about 1.5 years ago. Things I'm sure have improved, but at least 1.5 years ago, it was very much like if you order something from Amazon, and some days you'll get the dot that kind of comes, and a lot of days you don't have the dot at all. I remember waiting for there's something I ordered for myself or my wife, but I couldn't wait for it to get there, and I was like on top of it. The dot was still like halfway across Grafton, and the guy showed up with whatever the gift was. So I'll be very surprised if it's a lot better than that. There might still be some advantages, but this, you can know exactly where the bus is minute to minute. It was so far from that. So I want to provide accurate information be very forthcoming, but I also want to be realistic about it. Like we could do it, and it might be a nice to have on the day that the dot's working. You know, the bus is coming to pick up your kid. That sounds great. When it's not working, who is getting called? Who is responsible for that? If it's myself and the director of operations, as we're doing other jobs, that's a discussion that needs to be had with all of you. Any other questions on?
Did GPD have any? Oh, sorry, were you about to ask something and I interrupted you? Was there any recommendations of technology improvements that AA could make in terms of like alarms or alerts if things go
Yes.
awry?
I'm gonna meet with Chief Minardi, who's been absolutely phenomenal, later this week. But I do expect that. And that would be more on the AA side. If any piece of technology is disconnected or not working, that's flagged for them.
Okay.
But he probably has other things as well. But that's something that we've talked about.
Okay. Anyone have anything?
A comment. And it's been really difficult and challenging, and I know that it has sparked a lot, obviously, of intense feelings. But I did want to thank you and Chief Minardi and AA Transportation. I mean, they I'm grateful that they caught the person. And,
Yep, me too. And
you know,
obviously,
yeah.
AA, their level of transparency, their responsiveness. I think if Neil Minardi's probably talked about this, Chief Minardi, but all of the groups there's just been just tremendous collaboration and transparency, which is all you can ask for. And people working very hard to make sure that the investigation was incredibly well supported. And then as we start to look ahead, work together and be super honest and transparent.
Right.
All right. I think that's pretty much stuff.
That was happy. Future agenda. Anyone have anything to add, subtract, move around on the agenda?
I think the after, I know you guys are really busy, but do you think we could bring back our operation guidelines conversation?
Yes, we do have to bring that back.
I really get it. I'm super, busy myself.
We do have to bring it back.
And I won't pick a date.
Okay.
We shall do that. Tell me what promising practices is.
Oh, we talked about that last time. I thought it was that.
I apparently didn't get that far.
Yes, I can. That is, I think you were out. That is it's an event, if you will, held at BVT every year, and we belong. It's not a collaborative, but a consortium, the Blackstone Valley Educational Consortium, and years ago they started promising practices to annually recognize one educator from every district that's doing something. Not only are they fantastic, but they're doing something maybe creative in the world of SEL or project-based learning, something kind of promising practice for the future to be emulated. They all get together at BVT. The students serve a breakfast. Everybody gets up and presents their project. Kelly Carr from North Grafton Elementary School, phenomenal educator, was recognized this year as a Grafton rep. I haven't reached out to her yet. I might have mentioned it during the breakfast, but ideally I'd like her to come, and I put it when Julie was here anyhow. So if she's available, and she just will give a quick overview and maybe a chance for the committee just to recognize her, but she did a fantastic job. But that's what it is.
Thank you.
Peter Class was here the last time Julie was here too, right? Last year? Wasn't it Kelly?
Oh, that was Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really,
Yeah,
She's amazing.
really on.
Yeah.
she's really something. Her
Yeah.
class is just amazing. I once
loved it.
covered for her for a day. and I was getting crushed by these kids. I mean, crushed. And I accidentally banged my head into a wind chime, and the kids went quiet, like church. It was the greatest discovery I ever made. And she just had them trained when she does the little ding. It was like perfection. So I must have rung that bell.
That is backfired on you.
Easy.
She is both often children.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Only one mind.
Clearly geniuses.
Yeah. She's top notch. So that's what that is.
Sorry. Is there any
I'm going to
plans
ask
to
you
meet?
about the students.
Yeah,
Yep, we're
when-
working
since
on
he's
it.
talking about
We're
that.
working on it.
And Dr. Cummings, do you wish you had a bell here?
I want to be clear. It was this beautiful wind chime.
A
but
wind
it was
chime. You want a wind
amazing.
chime here?
He probably
And yes, I
would
do.
it work?
It wouldn't work, but I wish I had.
I don't know. We
And
all
not just
talk
you,
too
not
much.
just you.
We all talk too
The
much.
chair told me to stop talking.
And then she told me back to stop talking.
Get your gavel.
I will now take a motion to approve the minutes of January 6th.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as written on January 6th, for January 6th, 2026.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. You're abstaining. Good.
And I'd like to say, as always, Rebecca Mahoney,
It's like
Jeez.
100%.
Just seriously.
Unbelievable. Anybody have any questions on the warrant? We're in the drive. Okay, good. We had our budget update, I think.
Yeah. We skipped
no, this
over
is
it
the Q2.
accidentally.
Yeah, this is
For
the,
Q2.
yep, sorry.
I don't really have anything to add other than what Kathleen
Kathleen
provided.
Yeah. Did anyone have questions on what Kathleen provided?
No.
No, but I did speak with Kathleen today. So if you look at the budget report as written, if you look at the non-salaries that Q2 spent, that encumbers up through Q2, whereas the salary stuff just shows Q2. So moving forward, she's going to ensure that it's the same, whether it's
Yeah.
the same mechanism, because like I said, on the top part, it's just what happened in Q2 versus on the non-salary.
Yep.
Because of how the encumbrance works. She said that she didn't care which way she did it and if I had any thoughts. And I said, I would do it the same way that you do it on the non-salary side, since that's the more complex side with the encumbrance. Like, it's just easier to put the two things together.
Mixed up. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any policy tonight?
No.
Okay. So we have that correspondence, and we do not need executive session. So after what felt like the longest meeting ever, I'm going to say good night, Grafton. This meeting is adjourned.